When it comes to beading, don't panic. I'm here for you. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you simplest beaded designs. I mean, if you don't know what to do, you're confused, and if you bead any of these styles, it will elevate your outfit. And if you follow the techniques I'm going to show you, nobody's going to know that you don't know how to bead. Let's jump in. So the first dress we're going to be working with is this dress right here. That was the before, and this is the after.
Now we
And
need
this is what we
two
need
beads.
for this
We're using
dress.
crystal beads. We're using the dark green and the light green, and of course a matching thread. Now this is the blouse we're using right here. So I just put the mesh behind it so it'll be easy for me to work. And I'm going to be marking the area in which I'm going to be beading on. Now I've gone ahead to use my chalk to mark it. Please mark it lightly so you don't stain the fabric, but sometimes this chalk can't be trusted. So I'll go ahead and bead that area as well, and the bust area too. So now I'm going to be picking these beads 2 by 2. I could decide to do it 1 by 1, but I decided to do it 2 by 2. You can do it 3 by 3 as well, but I will recommend for a clustered beading pattern like this, please do well to do 1 or 2. So I'm going ahead to just pick these beads randomly. The idea is to have a smaller amount of the dark green and more of the light green, just so that it will come out really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and keep picking it right here and doing it. Just pull and make sure the fabric is not ruffled up, as you can see. So each time I pull out a needle, I make sure I arrange the fabric a little bit, arrange the beads, arrange the fabric, just so that you don't have a situation where the needle pulls the fabric and is ruffled up. So just gently do that, and always bring out a needle under a particular bead. That's one way it is easy to do a clustered beading style. So whenever you bring out the needle, always make sure it comes out from as close as the former beads as possible. Even better, let it come out from under the other bead. That way it's easy for you to, at the end of the day, have a holistic work and all that. But for now, it's still looking a little bit scattered because of course I just started. But as the work progresses and as feelings are going on, you see that it will come around and come alive. This is usually the period where I'll just fast forward it because I just feel like, okay, you get it, so you see the progress. But sometimes some of you just told me that, oh, you're too fast, kindly slow down. So I've decided to do a more slow down video just so that everybody be happy. So this is basically what it will look like as the work keeps progressing. So it has clustered right now because I filled it out. This is another one, and then this is a bigger version of it when I was almost done. Now I'm going to be beading the edge of this blouse, like the bottom edge of the blouse and the sleeve as well. So this beading pattern is the pattern I used for the edge of the blouse like this, as well as the sleeve, that spaghetti hand area of the blouse. Yes, that's what I use. So I just picked the 3 beads right there and just bring out the needle just under the fabric, at the edge of the fabric right there, put in another 3 beads. Now you can make this 4 if you want, but I decided to use 3. Put the needle in front of where the bead ends and just bring out the needle beside the beads, as you can see. Put a third one, just put it in. Make sure you put it just in front like that. Yeah, and then tilt the bead sideways and just bring out the needle beside it. So I'll just do a 4th one right there, and I'll repeat the same progress until I go all the way around the edge of the blouse. So this right here is what it will look like, and I'll just keep going. So this is what it looks like by the time I finished the whole edge of the blouse. I adopted the same method for the sleeve, like I said. So right here, I'm going to be fixing a size 12 crystal. I'm going to be throwing it randomly on the mesh of the hand as well as the body of this particular blouse, just so that it gives the outfit a lift. Remember that initially we used a matching thread, but this time around it's important to use an invisible thread just so that whatever attachment that you're doing would not show. It will look like it came with the fabric or it was just gummed to the fabric and not sewn, because if you sew it, your threads will be visible. And that's how I was able to attach this to the body and the mesh as well. So this right here is the finished work. Remember that I adopted the same method at the bottom on the sleeve as well. Now we're done with this dress, let's jump to the next. This is the blouse I'm going to be working with. I'm going to be showing you how this particular blouse is embellished. Now let's jump into the materials needed for this blouse. Crystal beads. We have gold and orange beads, both in size 6 and size 4. So we have this size 8 bead right here as well. We also have
Gold size 4 bead. Let's jump straight into the tutorial. This is the empty base, and what we're going to be beading is from this portion up there, round it like that to that point, and then also come to the bottom and bead it all the way to that point. This portion right here down to that point, and then we'll also fill out the needle somehow. So what I'm going to do first of all is to tie. I'm leaving that extra space so that they can sew the dress together with the remaining space. Put the needle into the fabric and then turn the needle in between the thread and tie it. That's what I'm doing right there, and then I'll just pull. I'm using invisible thread just so that the work will go seamless and easy. So just put the needle in there and tie. I did it twice. So let's go ahead and attach. These are the beads right here, and I'll just pick one. So we're going to be picking it randomly actually. What I did there was to pick one orange and one gold. So I did one orange size 6 and one gold size 4. I decided to do it 2-2, but at some point I felt let's just do it 1-1 so that we don't change the pattern. So we'll just fix it one after the other, and we'll keep going. Just fix one. I used to at the beginning, like I mentioned earlier, because I just felt to be faster, but I discovered that the pattern it was creating was different from what I wanted to create. So I went ahead to start doing one after the other. So that particular one that looks white, we just put that randomly once in a while. Like you don't even need to put it that regularly. So just put it once in a while. So I just pick one bead right there and attach it. As you can see, I started using one because I noticed that using two looked gave a look I didn't quite want. It was still fine, but I just did not want it. So randomly I'll just pick a size 4, pick a size 6, pick a size 4, pick a size 6, one after the other. And I kept doing that until I was able to go from the beginning that way all the way till the end of this particular blouse area. This is what it looks like. As you can see, that whitish one was just very scanty. It wasn't even full at all. I think a total of like 5 or 6 thereabout. So that's what it looked like. So we'll go ahead and do the other side. So this right here, I started it already right here, and I used the same method. But if you look closely, I used more of the gold than the orange because of course that's what I want, and the method I used was exactly the same method I used for the neck area up there, right? So we just keep doing that. If you look closely, I already used the chalk to outline the areas I wanted it to be, and by the time I did the whole portion, this right here is what it looked like. But don't worry, we're not done with this tutorial. This is just the base area. So the middle we're going to be filling it, which is already what I was doing right there. Now I'm going to be showing you how I drew out the patterns to do it. So feel free to draw the patterns however you feel like. So I went ahead to just draw the patterns this way. It was more like a zigzag pattern. You can measure it, you can use this freehand however you want to do, but for me I just used freehand because I wanted a particular look that I wanted to. So this is where that other shade of gold comes in. I'll go ahead and just keep drawing it to just make sure I achieve what I want to achieve. So all the spaces in between, I'm going to draw them. Even the portion that looks like it was in between the bust, we're going to draw every portion, and then we're going to also attach the beads to it. I'm going to be showing you how I attached the beads to it, which is a slightly different method from the other portions we have done so far. So now that we're done drawing it out, let's jump in and let me just show you in a different place how I attached it. So let's assume that the line is already drawn on it. So we'll just pick 4 beads right there and the beads down and then put it on the line. So we're going to line this according to the line that had already been drawn. Put your needle into the front of the bead and then bring it out somewhere behind, and then stick the needles through the last 2 beads that were fixed as usual. So we're going to be doing that right now. Bring it out, and then we're going to put another set of 4 beads. But in this case, by the time I put the 4 beads, what I discovered was that I had exceeded the line. So by the time I put it down, this was what I found out: the line was too far. So I went ahead to remove the 2 extra because I needed just 2. After I removed it, I came ahead to just drop it right in front because the other zigzag line came to the other side. And then as usual, bring out the needle at the back, put the needle through the front, and then the next set of beads we're going to be putting is going to be taking another direction because of the zigzag line that we drew. So we're going to be putting 4 beads right there, and we just lie there according to the zigzag line like that. So we're going to put that in and then just bring it out, put the needle through the last 2, and then go ahead to put in another 4. But in this case, because the first time I discovered that 4 was too long, so I'm going to be using 2 right here. So I dropped it there, and then I put the needle in front as usual, brought it out at the back again as usual, and brought it out through the last bead I was put, right? And then sticking another 4 beads, because at this point we're ready to bend it through the other side of the zigzag. So I went ahead to just put it on the other side, and that's how we're going to keep doing that till we cover all the portions we have outlined. So this right here is what it looks like by the time we finished it up. Feel free to do this in whatever color and design you so desire, but this right here elevated this outfit. Let's jump into the next. This is the next blouse we're going to be working with. This is the inspiration. Let me quickly show you the materials we need. For this dress, I used 2 sizes of crystal beads, the size 8 and the size 6, and then I also used studs. Those are the beads we're going to be needing for this tutorial. So this right here is the empty bodice, even if I've already worked on some areas, but I'm going to be showing you how to bead the bust area first of all. So I tied the thread right there, and I'm going to be throwing these beads randomly on this blouse. This beading style right here is called clustered beading. The idea is just to fill out all the empty spaces on the blouse area. So what we're going to be doing now is that we're just going to be fixing the needle in. Remember that we're also supposed to use studs on this particular bust area, so it's important to fix the beads and the stud randomly. Now there's another way to actually go about this particular design, but I did it on the second bust, so I'm going to be showing you how we're going to do it on the other bust. Let's jump in. The second method will still do the job, but the idea is just to arrange the beads on a line. So it's to arrange it line by line until the full bust is covered, instead of just doing it randomly like I did the first one. So the first thing I did right here is to put 4 beads in, and then I'll put the 4 beads down. The next thing I did was to just put the needle through the front of the last bead and bring it out somewhere in middle, and then put the needle through the last 2 beads. After doing that, the next thing to do is to bring out another 4 beads, just put it in again, put the needle in front of the 4 beads again, bring it out in middle, and run the needle through the last 2 beads. Now this is the method that I use. If you're following my channel, you know that I use this method a lot. So we're going to do this, and we're going to keep doing that until we've gone all the way around this particular bust area. After doing that the first time, we would have to go a second time. So go round, and then after doing that, to go a second time. Now it's my choice to decide to fill, or I could just go a second time and then keep going until I finish it totally. So I'm going a second time right now, but incidentally what I did in particular design is when I went the second time, I now stopped halfway and filled it. Now as you can see, I'm putting the stud right there. Remember, we're mixing it with stud, so at intervals and randomly, it's important to remember to put studs in between. So I just put the stud in between. I put another 4 beads, and I brought out the needle in front, put stud in between, as you can see, and then I went ahead to start filling the middle. So let me just give you a snippet on how I did the random beading to fill out the middle, because what I eventually did for this particular design is that after I created those 2 lines, I think I even made it 3, and then I just went ahead and started filling out the middle randomly. I did that and filled it until the whole bust area was full and occupied with beads. Like there was no space at all. It just had this stud and crystal thingy going on, and that's it. So I didn't finish it, but let me just show you how we beaded these lines. And these lines are very, very simple. As you can see, just put the needle in through that place and just bring it out just beside the line right there, and voila, that's it. So put in another 3 and just bring it out beside. Now I noticed that this particular needle came out far, so don't worry, just put it in and just bring it at the point where you want it to be. Put in another 3 beads, put the needle through that point, and yeah. So if you want to do this kind of straight beading, it's important for you to just draw the lines. But in this case, the bias tape already gave me the line and the, format with which I'm supposed to use to create the design. But if there was no line to create the design, I would have drawn the line. So this is what it looks like by the time I finished it. And as you can see, that space, empty space, I'm actually going to fill it with the crystal and the stud. But in order to do this particular crystal and stud, what we used was invisible thread. If you use a normal matching thread, it will look tacky. So this right here is what it looks like by the time we finish the work. Now the area that had the stud and the bead, you can make it fuller, you can make it just stud, you can make it just crystal. Feel free to manipulate it however it is you want to. Let's jump into the next. For this one, we're going to be showing you how to cover a plain base. And these patterns of this dress are so small and clustered, and the beads are tiny, almost as though it's part of the outfit. Let's go. The bead I was used here is the bead called sand bead. We need 2 shades of purple. I used purple, so the dark purple and the light purple. But as you can see, the dark purple is really pigmented, so I had to add a little bit more of the light purple just to give it an even distribution, because the dark purple would have taken over the color, and I didn't get the chance to take the actual before of this boo, but at least this before will suffice. So this is how we're going to start it. So just go there, pick somewhere very close to the edge, and then tie it right there. Next thing to do is to put the needle through this boo and just bring it out at the edge of where that plain fabric started out. At this point, we're just going to go ahead and pick our beads, and I'm going to be putting the needle to just pick the bead randomly. So whatever bead gets into my needle, that's what I'm going to use. In this case, we're going to be using 3 beads. So whatever 3 beads gets into your needle, just use it. There's no hard and fast rule. There's no point selecting the bead. So I'll just put the needle in through that way and just bring it out right there like this. So that's it. So as you can see, the beads are straight. So I'll go in, pick another 3 beads, and then I'll just put the needle just on top right there, just right there, and then tilt the needle sideways to bring it out at the bottom sideways. It was looking too far, so I'll just shift it closer a little bit. So that's it. I'll go ahead and pick another 3 beads and just put it in that way. I'll just bring it out this way, and that's it. So I'm going to keep doing that until I do that around all the edges of this particular boo. So that's how I actually did it. At this point, we keep sticking the needle through, pick another 3 beads, put it in that way, pick another 3 beads, put it in that way. It's just because of this tutorial that I have to do it on the mannequin standing. Ordinarily, I'll just sit comfortably and hold the dress to myself and fix it, but yeah, this is how we're going to keep fixing it and creating the lines. By the time we're done with all the edges, we'll then go ahead and start filling the middle. So this is what it looks like. This is what this other side looks like as well. So let me show you how I actually filled the middle, because we're in a hurry, so we didn't get the chance to create the tutorial directly on the outfit. Sometimes it's a hassle to do tutorials on the real project. Now we're picking 3 beads as usual, and then we'll just take the needle in right there and bring out the needle behind the other bead. Pick another 3 beads and just stick it down. Put the needle in front of the bead. Make sure it's directly in front of the beads, because if you make it further a little bit, the beads are going to bulge. So get another 3 in right there. Put the needle in front, bring it out in midst of another bead. Just make sure it just goes under another set of beads. Put it down that way, and then you just put it in and bring it out to the other side, and keep doing that. Put the beads right there. As you can see, it's already giving us that clustered look of no space and all of that, and by the time we're done with this thing, it will look like the beads are an integral part of the fabric. This is black, so it doesn't really look that way that much, but I know you get it. So this right here is what it looks like. Now you might find a hole every now and then. As you can see, there's a hole right there, so I just picked 1 bead, put the needle in right there, and brought it out. So that's about it. And then this right here just finished. So let me just stop here. So by the time we're done, this is what it will look like, and this is the replica of it on the dress, as you can see. So by the time we finished building the full outfit, This is what the full outfit looked like. As you can see, the beads blended fully into the outfit. I always say, choose whatever color you want to do with this kind of outfit. Let's jump into the next. This next one is even the easiest of them all. Dress we're going to be working with, and we just need to put a little bit of beads to spark it up a bit. Now, what we're going to need to beat this dress right here is the yellow glass broken beads. This color. Beautiful. I also need crystal beads. Now this right here is what it looks like. This is size 8 crystal bead in gold, and different shades of gold. This particular gold is what they call the oil gold. It kind of looks like orange, but you get it. First things to do is to outline where you're going to bead your outfit through. So everything we're going to do is we're going to carry it from that portion. We're going to maintain this line. We're going to go from the other side and bead it this way as well. We're going to come to the side under, do it that way, come to the other side. The idea is everything is going to converge at this point right here, which is the middle. This is where it's going to converge at. So that particular portion will look more saturated than every other part of the dress. Bearing that in mind, let's go ahead and start. So I came right here to the back, because we're going to be taking from the back all the way to the front at that particular place. So we'll bead the cape first before we go ahead to start beading the bust area and the other areas I mentioned. So I tied it with a visible thread before, but it didn't show. So let me just tie it right now with this black thread so you see how to tie. Put the needle through the fabric and just put the needle in between the thread right there. That's how to tie it the first time, and just pull. So you can go ahead and tie the second time. So this right here is what I did. Put the needle through the fabric as well, a very small portion of the fabric, and just take the needle in between, and that's how to tie. 2 times is okay depending on what you want to achieve. So let's come back. I've already done that for the dress. I'll go ahead and just take a portion of this yellow bead right here, and then I'll pick the crystal bead, put it inside it, and this is it. I'll just put it down and make sure I put the needle directly in front of the crystal beads. Don't put it ahead because it'll be extra. The invisible thread, you can imagine, you can't even see it, but just manage it. So I'll just bring out the needle just in front. Now whatever distance you want the bead to be, that's how you just bring out the needle. If you want it far, you can make it far. If you want it close, you can make it close. So just put another one right there, and then just put it in front of it and bring it out just in front like this. Now the beads, the threads, the crystal, the fabric, everything is just blending too much. So I'm going to do it on another canvas so that you see what it looks like. Then we'll come back to the dress. So this right here is the broken bead, and then this right here is the crystal, and you just bring it down this way. And next thing to do is to put the needle right in front of the bead, and then just bring it out where you want it to be. So for me, I just put it just like this out, but if you want it to be farther, you can just put the needle all the way inside it and bring it out. As you can see the distance right there, but I want mine to be a little closer, so I just brought it down right here, and that's it. Now for the original dress, I eventually finally used normal polyester thread because the invisible thread was giving me problems, and the polyester thread actually blended in. I used invisible thread because I did not want it to show and just make the outfit tacky, but eventually when I used the thread, it worked. So I switched from an invisible thread to the polyester thread. To be honest, this particular thread is faster than the invisible thread, so I just did that and put it in between and just went ahead. So as you can see the difference and the distance between both beads, that they are equal. So feel free to do it however you want to do. So that's what I also did right here. I just brought it out just a little bit in front. Now I have finished doing it. So that's it from the back down to the front. So let me turn it. So I did it halfway, as you can see right here. So I'm going to do it all the way downward to this point, and then I'll do it as well. Now another thing to consider is when I do this first side, I'll come to this other side and also do it upward, and then I'll also come to this side and continue, come to this side and continue. The reason you need to do that is so that by the time you're done, it doesn't look like you've done only half and you've occupied the whole bottom. So this right here, this is 4 on this side and this 3 on this side. So I'll also do the first one and keep continuing. So as you can see, I keep doing it. As you can see, while you're going, you discover that the middle keeps getting wider. Yeah, so that's the reason why you have to do it side by side, so that by the time you're done, one side is not full and one side. So that's the middle right there where everything is going to converge. So I kept doing that until I occupied the whole part of the upper part of this dress. So this right here is what it looks like by the time we finish it. Let's jump into the next. This dress is even more simple. Do the edge of the blouse right here from that portion and the neck as well. So let's jump into the tutorial. Here is the outfit on the table, and we're going to be using a matching thread and crystal beads in size 6 to bead it. So that's it right there. First thing you're going to do is to tie. So I can choose to start this from the shoulder up there, or to start it in middle, whichever one works for you. So I'm tying the thread right now on the shoulder area, and by the time I've tied it, I'll go ahead and start fixing the beads. I'm going to be fixing the bead in fours, so I'm going to be taking it 4 all the way around the neck area, and by the time we're done, we'll just have a a reasonable beaded outfit. So I'll pick 4 right there, and I'll just lie it flat right there, and put the needle in front of the beads as usual, then bring it out in middle. Remember that it was 4, so I'm going to be bringing it out somewhere in middle, and then walk the needle back through the last 2 and just bring it out that way. Now once you've done that, it's now up to us to do it like that all the way around to the other side. But sometimes, just to make it even, we can now choose to start from the middle, which is what I want to do right here. Tuck your needle in between the thread right there, and by the time you do that twice, and then we're ready to bead. Once you've done that, just bring out the needle exactly where you want the beading to start from, and then I'll go ahead and pick the beads as usual. Just put it down, put the needle in front of the beads like I had done the last time, bring it out at the middle right there, and then by the time we've done that, I'll do something slightly different. I'll just put the needle through the 2 beads in middle. It's 4, there are 2 at the middle, so I just bring it out through the 2, and then from the bottom of the second one, I'll just bring out the needle on the position where I want to continue the beading. Now I want to show you something. Sometimes while you're beading this thing, you discover that the space you left might end up being too big. I'll show you as I'm going. Then I'll show you how to close it up in case it is too wide. So this right here is what it looked like while I had been doing it and discovered that it was too wide. And let me show you how I'll close it up. So let me just deliberately put this one right here in such a way that it is wider, not as close, and then I'll show you how I close it up. Now mind you, you can make it wide and you can make it close if you want to, but if you look very close, you see that there are spaces there. So I'll fix in this right here, and let's start the closing process. Now as you can see, it is wide, right? In fact, let me add a second one so that we'll just see it very clearly and know that okay, it is very, very wide. So I've added the second one right there, so let's jump in. Now as you can see, there are spaces which is different from the other ones on the other side. So now that's the position where I want the bead to be. So I just put in my needle right there, and then after I've done that, I'll put in my needle through the last 2 to the front. As you can see, by the time you pull, if you notice, that's shifted. See that? And then see the position of the needle. It's just slightly not where the needle was before. Now by the time I did that, I now put my needle through the other last 2 and pull. So this right here is what it is. I'll put the needle in right there, bring it out. By the time you do that, if you look closely, it has shifted together, right? Because I just shifted the position by bringing out the thread where I wanted the bead to be. So I'll do that for this second one as well, so that you see it. Let me slow it down a bit. Now I brought out the needle, right? And then I'll just put the needle through the last 2 beads and pull. Did you see that? And then the next thing to do is to pull my needle just right there, bring it out at the edge where I want the bead to actually start from. Now I'll bring out the needle, and this is where it is right now. So I will now put the needle into the bead and pull. By the time I do that, if you notice, the position has actually shifted. So I'll just go ahead and run the needle through all the beads, bring it out at the back. If I wanted to shift it as well, I'll still shift it. So if you look very closely, you discover that that space is no longer there. It has disappeared. So feel free to keep correcting your work as you're going. And then, but of course, minimize mistakes. But if it happens, quickly correct it and keep it moving. So from this position, I'm going to put my needle back to where I want to continue the beading. I'll go ahead and continue the beading right there and we'll finish it up. Now let's go down to the bottom area. This one is called the base. That's why I was showing you how I did it from the other side and the neck. So this right here is what we're going to do. We're going to beat these edges this way all the way to the back, this side as well all the way to the back. So I'm going to show you how I started it and then how I did the bottom curve. So this is actually simpler than the neck. So let's just keep going. Tie the thread as usual, tie the second time just so that everything is in order, and then bring out your needle at the position where you want your beading to start. Then you start beading. Trust me, this one is easy and very sweet. So we're going to bring it out right there. We're going to pick our 4 beads as usual. After picking it, just light straight down that way and bring out your needle through the middle as we did before, and then just put it through the first 2. Then put your needle in just to lock it, then bring out your needle where you want the next beading to start from, outline it exactly the position, put in your 4 beads again. Then once you lie it flat, put your needle in front of the beads that way, bring it out in middle. Then you put the needle through the last 2 beads right there, the first 2 that you put as the case may be, and then bring it out. Then run your needle from the front down to where you want it to come out. If you didn't align properly, just position the needle, pick another 4 and repeat the process until you cover the desired area. Now when we get to the end, how do we now turn to the other direction? It's very easy, but I figured maybe it might be confusing, so let's jump in to show how it's going to be done. So by the time we finish the whole thing at the bottom, this is the last one right here. We've taken the beads and then we're going to be working our needle down to the mid area like we did prior, and then this time around, instead of taking our needle back, we'll have to take it forward. So we'll take it through the last 2 right there, bring it out, and then run our needle from the front to just under. Did you see we brought that from under the bead right there? So that's the new position, and then we'll just take in the next 4, put it across in front that way, run the needle, from the front down to the back. I just did that to the back because I wanted to hurry, but usually bring that in middle and then do what we did it before, and then put another 4, run it down that way, and then that's how we're going to continue the process until we are done. Just take it all the way around, all the way to the back, and by the time we finished it, this right here is what we had. It just turned, as you can see, it just followed, like that. So we did that for the neck as well. By the time we finished everything, this is what the neck looked like, and this is what the base area looks like. So feel free to do this for whatever outfit you want. It's very easy, very quick as well, just so that your outfit don't look too plain. Which of these designs is your favorite? And if you have any question, just let me know. If this tutorial was useful to me, I'd like to know by saying thank you in the comments, so that I'll know that okay, I'm doing something good. And if I should never try this again, I'll also know. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.